As many of you know, I did a live stream on my channel a couple weeks ago where I was talking about the blue check Negro and how much I have a disdain towards them. And on your screen right now, you see an example of a blue check Negro and the tweet that is showing why I have a disdain for them. So many of you may not be familiar with who April Reign is, or her username is Reign of April. But if you don't remember her, she was the one a few years ago who started that hashtag Oscars So White. Basically, she was saying how the Academy was overlooking a lot of black people for their achievements in film throughout that year, whether they were directing, acting, cinematography, production, writing, all that type of good stuff. And she had a lot of people who supported it and everything like that. And then the very next year, when the Academy decided to, I guess you can say, bend the knee, but they were more like pandering, decided to even give a nomination, that whole Oscars So White thing went right out the window. Like, you didn't see that hashtag at all. And then they let a couple years pass, and then Oscars became so white again. And then that's when she tried to reemerge with that hashtag again. And basically how she got her blue check was the Oscars So White thing. I don't remember her having a blue check even before then. But today we are going to discuss this tweet that she posted up on February 29th, 2020. I want you to keep that date in mind. So she decided that she was going to post this tweet right up here, and it was talking about the Killmonger character played by Michael B. Jordan in the movie Black Panther. And she says, "Note how Killmonger treats she was supposed to say every woman in this film with disrespect, with lack of equity. It starts with a woman in the museum, then his girlfriend, even the quote unquote hey auntie is disrespectful, in the tribal council room, and later in the healing room. All intentional, hashtag Wakanda forever." Now, mind you, Black Panther, the movie Black Panther, came out in February of 2018, over 2 years ago. And she's just now posting this up now as if she just saw the movie. I highly doubt that she just saw this, because I swear almost every black person in America probably saw this movie, whether they went to the movies and saw it or they saw it on a bootleg. And not just in America, but around the globe saw this movie. It was probably one of the most highest rated African American or black audiences that a movie has ever seen, probably in the last few years. So I highly doubt that she did not go see this when this movie first came out. I don't know how she couldn't, but whatever. Let's break down her tweet. She says, "Notice how Killmonger tweets every woman in this film." So the minute that she even writes that sentence, I already know what angle she's headed with this. I think April Reign is one of those feminists, and you already know how I feel about that. With disrespect, with lack of equity. Mind you, let's not forget that Eric Killmonger is a villain. He's a villain in the comics. He was a villain in the movie. Now, a lot of people will say he was more like an anti-hero, but you know, depending on how you feel about his character, he can either be an anti-hero or a villain. How many people might actually see it. He said it starts with the woman in the museum, and it's the part where he poisoned the white woman. I think she was the curator. Then he said, then his girlfriend. Now let me talk about the girlfriend part for a second. He killed his girlfriend because she wanted to be killed. She chose to be killed. She told him to kill her because she knew that she would slow down his mission after she had got injured. He didn't want to kill her. If you look at the movie, well, she didn't get injured. She was held hostage. Like, she had the gun to her head when Claw was about to kill her. And she said, "Eric, kill me," because she knew that he had a mission to fulfill. So in that moment, she became selfless. And you can look at his face before he pulled that trigger that he didn't want to kill her. And he shot her in a place where he was hoping that maybe she would have a hope of living, but she ended up dying anyway. And you can tell he didn't want to kill her in a location that would be considered brutal, like her head or something like that. But let me continue. Even the "Hey Auntie" is disrespectful in the tribal room. And they talking about that famous line that he gave when he saw Angela Bassett's character when he first walked into the room. Mind you, what happens leading up to that? You got to think, this is a boy that has been abandoned since he was a child because his dad was killed by his uncle, who he did not know was his uncle at the time. He didn't know that his dad was of royal stock. He didn't even know his dad came from a place known as Wakanda. He didn't know what that was. Well, I think he did kind of explain to him what Wakanda was, but he never got a chance to actually go there. Because I remember in the film, I think he did explain to him what it was. His dad was killed because T'Challa's father, who was his cousin, not his cousin, his uncle, killed him in self-defense. And when they ended up meeting there and everything like that, and he met his family for the first time, and he said, "Hey, Auntie," that was kind of like a backhanded, like, insult towards her. But like at the end of the day, like I said, Killmonger is a villain. Why would you expect him to be this noble person who is just nice? That's not a villain. Unless they one of the people that's nice on the front, but then in the back of their mind, they about to do something twisted and wicked. But he was upfront about what he wanted to do. Then she says, and later in the healing room, all intentional #Wakanda. Excuse me. Now I don't know if you can see it on your screen. Now hopefully you can. He says, super interesting the responses to this particular tweet. He was a villain. That's what bad guys do. As if his part in the film justified his misogyny and misogynoir. So let me get this right. You looked at this whole film and you only saw him harming women the entire time. Mind you, he tried to kill his cousin by throwing him over an entire waterfall in order to take the throne in Wakanda as the king of Wakanda. He didn't mind sacrificing anybody to get what he wanted at all. He even killed Ulysses Claw, which is a notorious Black Panther villain. Another male character. Like, he didn't mind killing anybody, but she only saw him hurting the women, which lets me know that this woman probably does not value male life, especially Black male life at all, even on screen. April Reign is one of those blue check goofies. One of many, by the way. Let me see, what else does she say? She says, Michael B. Jordan said he didn't want to be a straight villain, but an anti-hero. That's how he was written, specifically so folks would identify with his struggles and ideas, and some even take his side saying he's a villain. Actually diminishes the character they're defending. #Wakanda forever. I'm so over this chick. Now listen, I ended up responding to her and I said, what did I tell you about these blue check Negroes? This is the same woman who was campaigning with that Oscar so white thing one year, then praising them the next when one Black person got a nomination. A bunch of goofies. And note to self, like I said before, Killmonger threw the main character, a man, by the way, off an entire waterfall in the movie, thinking that he killed him. The main character. And she's getting upset by some side characters. Side characters. Ones whose name, as far as credits go, is way, way, way down the character list. Meanwhile, he killed one main male character and almost killed off the main lead of the entire film in which it's based off of. But she had to find a way to attack Black men through cinema by typing this up for a film that's been out for over 2 years. And when I retweeted and posted what I said about what she said, this thing, and I hate to toot my own horn, but I'm going to do it anyway. When I click the view tweet activity for this, it is currently now under 77,044 impressions, which means that's how many times it has been seen by people on Twitter. Almost 100,000 in a day, might I add, because I retweeted her today at 7:49 a.m. March the 1st. Like I said, when individuals like this get those blue checks, they will say anything out of their mouths and think that they are the smartest people on earth. Now you see why I call them blue check the goofies or the blue check Negro. Many of them don't have any discernible talents. All they have is a blue check. If you take that blue check away from them, then what do they have? It's crazy. It's wild. Like, she literally tried to pick apart this character, one that many people actually loved, by the way. A lot of people like the Killmonger character, and we didn't grab away what she just said, but she had to sit there and had to find a way to throw in misogyner and misogynistic, as if this was just a woman hating individual. Like, he just went through the entire movie just hating women. He hated everybody, you dummy. He hated everybody. The only person he really kind of had some kind of connection with was the W'Kabi character. That was it. And W'Kabi, at the end of the day, was a traitor. So what does that say? He betrayed his own friend to link up with the enemy of the movie, who happens to be the cousin of the main character, in which he betrayed. Against his own nation, against his own people. But that's really all I have to say about this right here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.